Hey, what's going on, you guys? Hey, welcome back to another episode with iTrack. Yeah, hey, big shout out to all the iTrack fam tapping in yet again. I do appreciate each and every one of you guys, man. Today, as usual, I got a handful of interesting and creepy videos for us to go ahead and evaluate for ourselves whether these are fact or fake. If you haven't already, go ahead and smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button and join the iTrack fam. Keep up to date with the latest and greatest creepy vids that have just gone viral all across the net. Now let's go ahead and jump right into it.
What is doublespeak?
Doublespeak is language designed to evade responsibility, make the unpleasant appear pleasant, the unattractive appear attractive. Basically, it's language that pretends to communicate but really doesn't. It is language designed to mislead while pretending not to.
Is it done consciously?
Oh, yes, very consciously. Doublespeak is not a slip of the tongue or a mistaken use of language. It's exactly the opposite. It is language used by people who are very intelligent and very sophisticated in the use of language and know that you can do an awful lot with language.
Who's the worst offender?
In sheer bulk?
Yes.
Sheer numbers of examples? The government. If we count government from the local level all the way up to the federal level, I had to stop writing the chapter on government doublespeak. It was going to take over the whole book. But interestingly enough, and this was a revelation in doing the book, about a half a step behind comes business with a tremendous amount of doublespeak.
Hey, true story. I actually knew somebody like that. And it gets kind of annoying because they don't really say what they mean. It's actually a form of beating around the bush. So I definitely know what he's talking about. People do it all day long, not just in government, but in everyday life. And they are generally pretty smart because you know what they're trying to say, but they just don't say it.
Southwest 1346, West Central Tower, good afternoon, wind 120 with 6. Key line, stop.
Ooh.
Southwest 1346, travel across downfield, runway 24
Wow.
left, minus away.
Wow. In the years I've been doing this, I've never heard an ATC controller tell a plane, stop.
For somebody that travels as much as me, it's pretty crazy. I mean, it makes you feel just a little too uncomfortable.
New TikTok news, but a new report came out saying that TikTok reveals that Oracle and Microsoft are in discussions to take over the app's global operations. Global operations. This was never about American TikTok. This is about global operations. While ByteDance would retain a minority stake, the White House is involved in negotiating the deal, and ByteDance values TikTok at over $200 billion. So you remember that $20 billion that Mr. Wonderful was offering? That is nothing. If you want to step up to the big guns, which is TikTok, you're looking at a $200 billion valuation. If you walk into the Shark Tank, like when Mr. Wonderful is from, and you have a $200 billion valuation, and you back that up, and somebody offers you $20 billion, that is a smack in the face. But Oracle and Microsoft, Oracle already runs the servers here in the United States anyway, and Microsoft has been selling our secrets since 1999. Look up their congressional report. I guess our new owner could be Bill Gates. What do you guys think about this? As long as I keep my job.
Is that you know that never been to jail and never got in any trouble with the law, but they talk as if their life is opposite of that. Like, those are federal informants. Like,
You think they're really out there? Yeah.
that's part of the job. How powerful Harvey Weinstein was at the time that I was meeting with him, and how he could not be told no. That he get whatever he want. You follow what I'm saying?
That they'll figure out some way.
Right, so I thought that didn't apply to me because I don't care about nothing but bitches and good business, right? And then he offered me 2 actresses like they was playing cards. And I was like, what?
Like he just jumped to the head like, oh.
He was like, I know you.
Damn.
Right, like, what?
Hey, you know Cat ain't lying now.
We're talking about drugs. Do you think that the use of drugs is directly related to demons? Or do you think using drugs opens portals to demons entering you? Or what are your thoughts on that? On drugs in general?
You are kidding.
You are kidding.
No.
You know my answer.
No, I don't.
Yes, of course.
If I knew it, I wouldn't ask you.
I understand. Of course. It's one of the main factors that I deal with in getting rid of demons.
So you know that there's people that have 6 fingers and 6 toes? They might just see Goliath at the family reunion. And see, now in the Bible they say, who has 6 fingers on each hand and 6 toes on each foot? And he also was a descendant of giants. And now today, the condition where people have 6 fingers and 6 toes is called polydactyl. And what causes polydactyl? And how do you get polydactyl? It's a condition that you're born with as a baby, and it often runs in the family. Now, what if, hypothetically speaking, Goliath had cousins that didn't meet David, and they kept reproducing generation after generation after generation? Remember now, 6 fingers and 6 toes, descendant of giants. Find that very strange.
Gordon Ramsay just posted a cryptic message to his socials that's a little concerning. Geoguessers like Rainbolt have all but confirmed that the view outside of his window is a runway right beside Area 51, with flight attendant Laisha even mentioning she was on that same flight with Gordon himself, which landed in the middle of the desert in Nevada, exactly where Area 51 is supposed to be. But I noticed a little something that no one else brought up. By now, everyone's seen this weird little pan sitting in his cup holder. And it's tiny, way too small to be used by any regular human, so what is this for? I zoomed in closer, applied some light filters, and noticed a pattern of hexagons all over it. I mean, clearly this is just his cookware brand, Hexclad, right? But oh, it goes much deeper than that, because I came across this leaked classified document featuring the exact same hexagonal pattern, which also claims we never made this technology. We recovered it from UFOs, non-human metallics. This all came out in 2016. Coincidentally, the same year Hexclad introduced this technology to the world. Whatever's going on here, the questions still stand. Who or what is this tiny pan for, and has Gordon really been working with classified alien technology this entire time?
I think the real conspiracy is, why was he landing in the middle of the desert? Him having a cooking pan and him being a chef, I don't think that's too much worrisome. I got a few of his pans myself. They're all right.
2,400 scriptures about his second coming. 8 times more than his first coming. So why would God give us so much about Jesus' return if it wasn't important? I believe what's happening with Israel, what's happening with the church, and what's happening in the natural world all indicate that we're in the last of the last days. I have been spending weeks, I've been spending literally a month digging, reading Dead Sea Scrolls. I've been reading church fathers. I've been reading so much to prepare for this, and I still feel ardent. I've scratched the surface. When it comes to the prophetic scriptures, the second coming of Jesus, the end times, these are truths. Yeah. They're hidden. Here's what I've been wanting to get to the whole podcast.
Here's what we know. Here's what happened. Frontier Systems suffered an operational failure caused by what they're calling a technical glitch, resulting in I want you to hear me say it, a nationwide ground stop. Thousands of passengers were stranded at airports across the entire United States. Passengers were urged by Frontier to basically check the outage status via their Frontier app and website. But here's where it gets weird though. Could this just be another random airline issue, or is there something bigger at play? Now, the point I want to make about this is we also had outages of ChatGPT and DeepSeek today as well. Then at the same time, and I'm going to break this down for you, in another really shocking development, Belgium shut down its airspace as well. They're calling it a technical issue with their air traffic control system. They basically have a system called SCIAS, I think is how you say it, but it's this air traffic control system, and it experienced a failure that impacted their air traffic management. So all of Belgium shut down their airspace. This caused multiple flight cancellations, and they even had diversions all across Europe. But the exact cause they were never able to figure out. Why are both U.S. airlines like Frontier and then an entire European country's airspace shutting down at the exact same time. So is this just some random glitch, or is there something else at play?
Interesting thing is that in the days after the Google Maps photos went viral, the feds announced that they had uncovered a $200 million smuggling operation happening in the ports of Los Angeles. This involved counterfeit goods coming from China, and it was happening in these containers that are similar to the ones that we saw at the plot. What was happening was, instead of going to secondary inspection sites, corrupt truck drivers were taking the containers to off-site warehouses where they would remove the contraband and apply new counterfeit seals. This involved warehouse owners, truck drivers, and logistic companies working together to defy US custom laws. So 8 people have been arrested and charged, but the lead defendant, who apparently controls several logistic companies, is still at large. We know this kind of thing is going on. Of course, worse things happen as well, and we just have to hope that the right people are working on it.
What would you tell yourself at 21?
Believe your instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Instinct over intellect. Always instinct. Just because you can rationalize it doesn't mean it's right. If you feel it, then it's right.
You know, my father used to say, whatever you do it 100%. When you work, work. When you laugh, laugh. When you eat like it's your last meal.
Louis, a moment of pain is worth a lifetime of glory. Remember that.
When it feels scary to jump, Ian, that is exactly when you jump. Otherwise, you end up staying in the same place your whole life. And that I can't do.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Winners don't make excuses when the other side plays the game.
How do they not have sensors that detect where the planes are? How is that even possible? That you could be in a place where planes are flying 500 miles an hour left and right all over the place, landing and taking off, and you're going to fly through that and you don't know where the planes are? That seems insane. That doesn't even seem possible, because, like, how could you exist as a military aircraft if you don't have a comprehensive analysis of everything that's around you all the time? We have sensors. We put them on jets. Why wouldn't we put sensors on the helicopter?
Well, they probably do have them.
So why didn't it work?
Wow. We're going to find out pretty soon.
Will we even know?
Or we'll never.
But everybody's dead, right? So how do you know when everybody's dead? They think the pilots are dead of the helicopter. I believe was there supposed to be 2 people in the helicopter? I believe 3 people in the helicopter, and was it like 60 or 70 people? 60 people in the plane are dead.
Yeah, the plane crashing into the helicopter is wild, and I think a lot of people feel the same exact way that Joe Rogan does. I know I do. I even seen Trump giving a press release on how confusing the situation is.
There's another one that actually escaped from captivity.
Yo.
But he actually convinced his interpreter or his interrogator to help him escape, because the program was trying to get him to open a portal for them, and they wanted control of it. And the guy eventually, the interrogator actually pushed him into the portal and had surreptitiously given him back to his own home world, and it ended that guy's career probably.
A portal?
Yeah.
And what kind of portal are we talking about?
You're talking like it's kind of like a way of opening a wormhole that you can control.
And did they say where this thing was accomplished and how?
I think it was also in reticuli. I think it was another being from the reticuli system.
Right, but the portal. Where's this portal? How is it accomplished?
The portal, I thought, I was trying to think. It sounded like it might have been on the Pacific Northwest or the West Coast area is where this was taking place.
And did they say how the portal was made? Was this made by them?
They had recovered parts of one, and they were trying to complete it, and they were trying to get this being to help them complete the portal so that they could use it for their advantage.
Like a Stargate.
Yeah.
Like a real Stargate.
Correct. Yeah.
He convinced his interpreter that if he didn't get back and if he didn't get home, really bad things were going to happen. And that guy just kind of felt like, hey, I got kids and whatever.
Right. I don't want society to destroy.
Plus, he had some compassion for him.
Yes.
He's been working with him for a while.
Yeah. So when he got the chance, he was just like, get him in there.
I can't remember all the things. I think they had to keep this entity tied to a chair or something, so he couldn't do anything, and that's why he needed the help of the guy that was the interpreter. He had to push him into the portal on the chair that he was tied to.
So humans traveled to an unknown planet called Serpo to learn from aliens.
Yeah, 12 people.
And they kept it hidden?
Oh yeah, it was a classified mission by the U.S. government. In 1965, 12 American soldiers boarded an alien spacecraft and left Earth on a 10-month journey to Serpo, a planet in the Zeta Reticuli star system.
A whole new world.
Yes. Serpo was different, to say the least. These beings, the Ebens they were called, were humanoid in shape, but not quite like us. Larger eyes, and get this, they used telepathy for communication. The humans didn't go there for just tourism. They went to study, to dive deep into Eben technology, their advanced spacecraft, and even their medical techniques. You see, these Ebens had tech that could change everything back here on Earth. Imagine learning propulsion systems, energy sources we can't even dream of, and medical knowledge that could rewrite our science books.
And you said they spent 13 years.
Exactly. They spent 13 years on Serpo, observing, analyzing, and absorbing Eben knowledge. Their aircraft alone. Imagine something that could jump between star systems without a hitch, and their energy technology, clean, limitless, far beyond anything we have. And get this, the Ebens could even heal in ways that seem like magic to us. They shared it all. But, out of the 12, only 8 returned. 2 died on Serpo, and 2 chose to stay behind, to keep learning and living among the Ebens. The ones who returned, they brought back insights that could have changed humanity's future, but were buried, hidden by the government. Those who returned, they lived out their days under new identities, forbidden from sharing any of it.
Y'all remember the missing kids on the milk cartons, accompanied by the Got Milk commercials? Why is there milk on their mouth? A bunch of kids on the milk? Why is there milk on her mouth? Missing children on the milk? Even the silk milk on the mouth. More missing children. And these guys are absolutely covered, you guessed it, in milk. These were also children on a milk carton. $94,000 reward. More children, you guessed it, on a milk carton. I didn't know Shaq was such an avid milk lover. Is that his mom right there? By the company you keep. It's crazy how Oreo got pulled into this, by the way. By the company that you keep. It's just really weird how all these celebrities have milk on their mouth. Really weird. Body by milk? Wasn't she just caught up in a whole bunch of drama? The milk being symbolized in their hair. That's a good one. We could do this for hours. By the way, screenshot these coordinates, but ask no questions.
Hey, this reminds me of when Orlando Brown was talking about how the people in our commercials are the same people that are missing. That's pretty wild. I remember him saying that. But let me know what you think. Is he reaching?
Crazy things happening in the world right now. Spike the Chihuahua, born on November 30th, 1999, is the only dog left alive from the previous millennium. A Florida judge used a Quest 2 to experience a crime firsthand. A declassified document from the CIA says they used astral projection to visit Mars 1,000,000 years ago, back in 1984. Taylor Swift did not actually sign a guitar that a man bought for $4,000 just to destroy. A woman was left disappointed after filming what she thought was Northern Lights, when in reality was actually a tomato factory nearby. A Wisconsin man was found to have faked his own death after being found in Uzbekistan. 43 monkeys still remain on the run from a South Carolina lab. Costco was forced to recall over 80,000 pounds of butter because the label forgot to mention that it had milk. A raccoon burst through the ceiling tiles at LaGuardia Airport. A British man passed away falling off a bridge in Spain while he was creating online content.
Video.
Fucking asteroid.
No, what's the sparkling?
It's still going. It's still going. It just disappeared. It just disappeared.
No, it's still there. Look at
it's still there. It's still there.
It's still there. It's like sparkly. It's all the sparkly stuff right there.
Call me crazy if you want.
America must think we stupid. See, the more shit that I dig up about this plane crash, the more I feel like not even a whole 24 hours before that crash, something else happened in that same area. The day before the crash, another American Airlines plane was trying to land, and guess what happened? The American Airlines flight had to abort landing because of a Black Hawk helicopter in its landing path. Did you just hear what I said? Not even 24 hours before that accident, before that crash, another American Airlines plane was trying to land and another Black Hawk helicopter was in its way. What's going on, man? Okay, you ain't gonna listen to me? Listen to what Trump said. Listen to this, because he's saying something without saying something. Listen to this.
You can stop a helicopter very quickly. It had the ability to go up or down. It had the ability to turn. And the turn it made was not the correct turn, obviously. And it did somewhat the opposite of what it was told.
So you're telling me that it's a coincidence that a commercial jet is going wherever it's going, and then a Black Hawk helicopter runs straight into it? That don't sound weird? If you want to get technical, that helicopter wasn't even supposed to be up that high at all. Mind you, the night was clear. Everything was clear. The plane had its landing lights on. They seen the plane. Why would you fly straight into that plane? That shit don't make no sense.
What's gonna happen to me? I'm gonna go to jail?
Only answer my question, sir.
No, I'm asking Equine, can I go to jail off of anything related to this lawsuit?
You're not here to ask questions, sir. You're here to answer.
What you mean I can't ask my lawyer a question? You crazy?
No, you can.
You don't know who you talking to. I'm not some slave of yours, boy.
If you would
what you mean I can't ask my lawyer a question? That's the dumbest. Are you crazy? You just told me I can't ask my lawyer a question.
Mr. West.
And 1 November Romeo, I need you outside of the Bravo.
Negative.
Negative what?
I'm inside.
You were not given a clearance through the Bravo. 1 November Romeo, exit the Bravo immediately.
I've been talking to you the whole time. That's the whole point of talking to you.
You have to have a Bravo clearance. You have to request a Bravo clearance.
The Bravo clearance about 50 miles ago.
Nobody clears you through the Bravo but me.
Then clear me through.
No.
Yes. You're an asshole. She's being an ass. That is not appropriate language.
Double 852, what speed are you at?
We're at 220.
220?
What do you need?
Well, no, 212, I'll tell you what, you go to 180, turn right heading 060, and I'll run the guy behind you that's doing about 100 knots faster on the ground speed.
Alright, you want to play games?
No, I'm not playing a game. You're doing 180 across the ground. The guy that's 5 behind you is doing 310 across the ground. Now you tell me, if I've got a bunch of airplanes in there, what would you do?
How do you feel about the fact that you're going to spend the rest of your life there?
The rest of my life where?
Right here.
You guys are poor. You've been living 1,000 illusions, man. Rest of your life where?
In prison.
In prison. What prison? You got a prison in your mind? You see what I'm saying? You're in prison, son. You're the one that's in jail because you think there is such a thing as a prison. I'm sitting on a line. The guy comes up and draws a line and says, you're in prison. I said, oh, I'm in prison? He puts up a big gate and says, you can't get out. I said, oh, I can't get out? He says, yes. Then they dress up in uniforms and walk back and forth and have little passes and paperwork and things. And I look at them and they say, we're keeping you locked up. I said, oh, you are? I didn't have anything else to do anyway. The only thing you got me locked out from is my guitar. And whoever got my guitar and whoever's taking my guitar and whoever's keeping my guitar, I swear to God.
I couldn't figure out why Little X was holding up a pentagram the other day. But then the secret came out when I looked at where that airplane crashed. And that's next on the trumpet. That crash site was right in front of where they keep the president's helicopter, right in front of the Secret Service, right in front of the Department of Homeland Security, and right at the end of runway 33. The presidential helicopter is stored right there. The Department of Defense is right there. And this all happened right in the backyard of the Secret Service. Let's get a little closer to that. That's a 5-sided star called a pentagram. That's the Secret Service star right there. So that's how Washington's laid out. Little Freemason thing. I'm sure 33 has nothing to do with it. The very same day that Lincoln created the Secret Service in 1865, he was assassinated by a Freemason. No secret. Since that whole thing happened on Good Friday, let me put some scripture to that for you. The New Testament tells you, for nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. And the Old Testament tells you, for God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. It breaks my heart that this happens to these beautiful people. It's no secret. He flew straight into it. You know what else isn't a secret? That me and my family love you in Jesus' name. So like and follow the trumpet for more. And in Jesus' name, have a blessed day.
Wait, this can't be true,
Coca-Cola
right?
just signed a 5-year, $1.1 billion deal with Microsoft. 5 years ago, it was discovered that there were fluorescent nanoparticles in Coca-Cola. Now, if I were a conspiracy theorist, I might think there were more to this partnership.
Now, according to reports, Microsoft and the Coca-Cola Company have announced a 5-year strategic partnership to align Coca-Cola's core technology strategy system-wide. So it is said to enable the adoption of leading-edge technology and foster innovation and productivity globally. Using Azure Open AI service, Coca-Cola is currently exploring the use of generative AI-powered digital assistants. Now, did you know they have found nanotechnology in Coca-Cola and in Pepsi products? Have a look at this. The biodistribution study in major organs indicated that the NPs were easily accumulated in the digestive tract, and they were able to cross the blood-brain barrier and dispersed into the brain. Questions and, of course, suspicions.
Yeah, I have tons of videos that show that Coca-Cola has nanoparticles in them, and you might at first think that this is just a conspiracy. When you see this kind of merger and acquisition, you can't help but think there must be something bigger at play, and it might not be a conspiracy.
If an airplane is about to crash for any reason, it's almost impossible for the passengers on board to survive. Whether it's business class or economy, passengers are not given parachutes. This is the reason over 100,000 people have lost their lives in plane crashes so far. But now, this could soon change, as an engineering team is working on detachable airplane technology. In this design, the airplane will be structured in such a way that in any emergency situation, the passenger section will detach from the rest of the plane. After this, with the help of 2 advanced parachutes, the passenger cabin can be safely landed on any water or land surface. In this way, passengers will be able to survive without any harm. What do you think about this design? Share your thoughts in the comments and follow for more valuable content.
Hey, I think that's definitely a step in the right direction, and I'm all for that. Let me know what you think.
Heard of Microsoft's global patent number 060606? 2016, Microsoft partnered with the Gavi Vaccine Alliance, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, WHO, UNICEF, World Bank, WF, and the UN to start the global initiative ID 2020. The goal? To create digital ID for everyone, with the plans to link biometric data to verify identity, a global database to monitor all humans. Think of the implications with CBDCs, vaccine passports, social credit-like systems. But how would they monitor every person? This is where Microsoft's patent comes into play. WO-2020-060606. Patent for a system where human body activates brainwaves, body heat, movement, etc., is used to mine cryptocurrency. It uses body activity as proof of work instead of traditional mining that requires massive computer power. The system would reward users with cryptocurrency when their body data meets certain conditions. If you tie ID 2020 and 060606 together, the combination could be used to track and control access to money, services, and even movement. Become a social credit system where access to cryptocurrency depends on behavior and compliance. Add in a layer of AI and automation, AI would determine who gets rewarded and who doesn't, based on your body's responses. Imagine being forced to comply to something and produce a certain brainwave condition before being able to buy or sell. Some may say, they can't do that, that's crazy, it only happens in movies. You're just trying to fear porn us. The patent number is literally 060606. I don't know what else to tell you.
Hey, go do your homework. He gave you the patent number. And if you Google it, your mind might be blown, man. Be prepared.
Your eyes are not playing tricks on you. There's no pilot inside this helicopter.
Are we really going to fly this optimally piloted autonomous Black Hawk in Connecticut from 300 miles away right here in Washington, D.C.? And the answer is a resounding yes, we're going to.
This is just a friendly PSA that the airplane mode button on your phone is not a conspiracy. So if you forget to put your phone on airplane mode, no, it's not the end of the world. The plane will not fall out of the sky, and it won't even mess with the systems on board. However, it does have the potential to mess with the headsets. If you have an aircraft with 70, 80, 150 people on board, and even 3 or 4 people's phones start to try to make a connection to a radio tower for an incoming phone call, it sends out radio waves. There's the potential that those radio waves can interfere with the radio waves of the headset that the pilots are using. Last night in San Francisco, we had pushed off the gate, we were talking to the rampers, we disconnected from the tug, started the engines, and then once we got the plane turned around, we started headed towards the taxiways, and I called up ground to get our clearance as to which direction we had to go. And as soon as we start getting the directions, there's like this really annoying buzz going through the headset, and it kind of sounds like there's a mosquito in my ear. Like I said, it's not end of the world, but it's definitely pretty annoying when you're trying to copy down instructions and it sounds like there's just like a wasp or something flying around you. So if you're ever curious why you got to put on airplane mode, that's why.
I'm not going to lie to you. I'm glad he actually made that PSA because I need him to be focused. Any of the pilots on the planes that I'm riding in, I need them to be 1,000% focused. You can rest assured I'm going to have my phone on airplane mode for a fact.
You're warned. The name is Arthur Schubarth.
An 81-year-old man in Montana who's been charged with federal felony wildlife crimes for cloning a giant foreign sheep here in the U.S. for hunting purposes. Let me try to explain this. So this 81-year-old man, his name is Arthur Schubarth. He imported sperm, tissue, and testicles from a Marco Polo sheep, the largest in the world, and then successfully took that material and made a full living sheep out of it. Then he crossbred that sheep with a Rocky Mountain Bighorn sheep and created a hybrid sheep that he called the Montana Mountain King. And the plan was to sell those, which he actually did, to people who wanted to stock preserves exclusively for hunting. The authorities were not fans of this move, and they've given him a 6-month sentence. The judge said this is to deter anyone from, quote, changing the genetic makeup of the creatures on this earth.
Someone made a law against making cloned animals. If I want to see that law.
You can buy gene modification kits right now where you can modify your own genes. You can practice CRISPR on yourself. I think they're like $1,000, and so go modify yourself today.
Bro, what? Okay, this is by far the most dangerous thing that you can buy on the internet, and it's not even close. So there are a bunch of companies that are selling DIY CRISPR kits for home use. If you didn't know, CRISPR is technology that allows you to edit genes. Now, most of these are fine, like making E. coli glow in the dark or turning plants red. But here's where it gets terrifying. To do CRISPR, you basically need a target organism. You need something called the Cas9 protein, which snips the genome. And then you need something called gRNA, which guides the Cas9 protein to the specific spot on the genome that needs to be cut. All these kits have specific and different gRNA that makes them do what they're advertised to do. But you can also custom make and order your own gRNA. And to order it and pick it up from the lab, you just need to say you won't use it on humans. Meaning now people can basically at home edit the genes of whatever they want. And if someone edits the wrong gene or messes up, bro, we could be cooked. I'm a big fan of freedom, but whoever's selling this, please stop. But on the other hand, I will be making this tomato plant glow in the dark and eating it, so stay tuned.
All the pyramids in Tikal would fit inside the one big pyramid in El Mirador. Archaeologist, a guy named Richard Hansen, he's been working tirelessly for like 30 years trying to extract this pre-classic city from the jungle. It is literally the biggest pyramid in the world. It's bigger than the ones in Egypt. And so that tells you that the pre-classic civilization was more sophisticated than the civilizations that came after it.
Justin Bieber's song Yummy isn't just about his personal life. Every frame of the music video even alludes to P. Diddy and his infamous parties.
But what were you thinking of when you wrote that yummy?
The scene where Bieber walks from the kitchen into the banquet hall hints that he himself is one of the delicacies at the party. The musicians playing at the party are terrified-looking minors, and the guests, aside from capitalists, include royalty. This is all a nod to what P. Diddy's bodyguard had previously exposed.
He had politicians. He had princes. He also had a couple of preachers.
The upper-class guests seemed to enjoy making strange faces while eating weird food. One of the cakes even had a shape that was confirmed by the FBI to be a symbol for adults who are attracted to young boys. There are also some intriguing characters in the video, like the guest wearing glasses, who in 2016 was exposed for having a special relationship with minors. John Podesta, the server who's always sneaking behind Bieber, secretly watching him, is implied to be a senior executive from his record label who had previously harassed him verbally. As the party ends, the young men and women are picked out by the guests, leaving Bieber sitting alone at the table, looking uneasy. At the end of the music video, the empty cake plate bears the image of a young Justin Bieber.
What happened to Justin Bieber? This doesn't even look like the same person at all. Or am I just being too much of a conspiracy theorist? Oh yeah, and TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only. But you tell me what is going on here, because really this looks like a completely different person to me. But again, maybe I'm just being too paranoid. Maybe I'm being too much of a Looney Tune. Or maybe, just maybe, there is something more going on here. Does that look like the same person to you? I know that he's gone through a lot. And I do feel bad for him. I do. Trust me, I do. Because all of the stuff with Diddy, maybe that's taking a toll on him. But really, it looks like a completely different person to me. What do you think is going on? What do you think happened? Again, maybe I'm being too much of a conspiracy theorist. Maybe. Or maybe there is something more going on here.
Yeah, you're a bit of a conspiracy theorist. I mean, celebrities have bad days too. And he's looking pretty pissed off right there.
If y'all were wondering where these clouds were coming from, well, look no further. There's a few.
Have you seen the thing about the book from 1953 that talks about Elon wanting to go to Mars? Like a Werner von Braun?
No.
Have you seen this? Elon tweeted it. You can find it. This is in a Werner von Braun book. So Elon is the elected leader of the Martian government. 1953 book, Mars Project by Werner von Braun, says the leader of Mars shall be called Elon. Someone pulled the original German manuscript out of the archives, debunked the myth, only to confirm that von Braun did indeed predict he'd be called Elon. And Elon writes, how can this be real? It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy because the guy's literally obsessed with Mars and has created rockets that you can catch.
Crop circles act as conduits for embedding specific frequency bands into the environment. These frequencies serve as tools for subliminal programming and even covertly modify the DNA of those in the affected area. Crop circles are formed by the direct manipulation of subatomic energy imprints using multidimensional manipulations via technology far beyond current mainstream human understanding. They are often placed in a sequential fashion, sometimes thousands of miles apart, each contributing to a greater, nearly undetectable frequency pattern. Follow me for more hidden knowledge.
It's the whole city. Okay, you guys, I'm kind of freaking out, and it's hard for you to see it, but if you look closely at the city, watch. All of the lights are gonna suddenly start blinking. Do you see? It's throwing me off so much. I hope that you guys can see it through the rain. Look at that. Do you guys see that?
Can someone tell me what this is? This is my security camera, okay? Now, you can see me over here in the white nightgown facing the window. What is that keeps being seen in my security camera? Does anyone know what that looks like or what that could be? That keeps showing up behind me in my security camera. This is about the third time it has shown up. I've checked the security cameras over and over again, and it only shows up behind me. It is not showing up behind anyone else. And of course, you can see it's my security camera because I've got, right here is the line of the camera. And this is the full size of the photo. Now, this is me over here in the white gown facing the window again. What is that shadow that keeps coming up behind me? My security camera is catching it every time about the hours between 3 and 4 a.m. That is the only time my camera is showing that. Someone help me out.
It's definitely not an angel. It looks like a demon, and you probably want to get right with God ASAP.
This guy, 2024, this recent. Okay. So he posted a video and it's going viral where he goes into an abandoned washroom, right? Yeah. And he pulls out his phone and he starts talking. I think he starts talking in Spanish, but the translation said that, oh, guys, I'm here by myself. Like, there's no one here around me, but I'm getting this weird feeling. Yeah. Right? So he's there and he's going into each stall and he's like, oh, okay, nobody's there, right? When he turns around, he hears a knock from one of the stalls that he just went in. Yeah. Right? So this is where it gets weird. So I'll show you the video, see if you believe this is real. Cause you have to catch it really fast. You see something in the stall. So it was like fucking with him. It knocked when he was facing the mirror. He turned around, went in, nothing. It knocked again, and you can see it.
No way.
Yeah, hold on. Just look like that. I believe this is real.
Let me see.
Okay, boom. So he's in the washroom. You have to catch it, right? So he's in the washroom alone. Okay, catch it.
Wait. Go back.
Catch it again. Look in the crack. Ready?
Yeah. Oh!
But look. He went right. Like, there's no stoppage in the video. Watch. There's no stoppage. Right. Oh, you see the face? Go up. There's no one there. No. So it's like messing with him.
Yeah.
You can't Photoshop. That's not AI, bro.
Okay. I'm gonna say something crazy to you. Ready?
Yeah.
So the few times that I've seen like a spirit, few times, and I think I've seen, it's always like it feels like it's not there, but it is there.
It is.
Like it'll look like it's not.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. It'll like play with your mind to believe, like manifest it more.
Yeah. So I think I said this before. I said this on the Sabrina episode with her sister.
Okay.
How I woke up and like in my dream, there's a spirit standing like by my closet.
Yeah.
And then when I woke up, I saw it for like a split second, and then my eyes changed that it was just the clothes and the shape of it.
Oh my God.
And in my head, I'm like, okay, it was just the shape of the clothes, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah,
Boom, done. Thinking back, I'm like, okay, what if that's how it's shown?
A conspiracy theory that originated in 2011 states that Canadian singer Avril Lavigne died in 2003, which is the way no one says 2003, shortly after the release of her debut album, Let Go, in 2002, banger of an album, and was replaced by a body double named Melissa Bandela. Know what I mean? And evidence used to support the theory includes changes to Lavigne's appearance between 03 and the present, supposed subliminal messaging in her follow-up album Under My Skin, and a photo shoot in which Lavigne has the name Melissa written on her hand.
I mean, dude, I wasn't really on board until you said that there was a photo shoot where she had Melissa written on her
Yep.
hand, and then I'm like, well, okay, then what the fuck?
Maybe we should like maybe start to like have a little subliminal messaging in our podcast about how we've all been replaced.
What if I told you that your whole life has been a lie? That everything you believe about the world, about who you are, is nothing more than a carefully crafted illusion designed to keep you trapped? This is not a conspiracy theory. This is a fact that great sages have known for millennia, but this truth has been hidden from you. The Hindus call this illusion Maya, the veil that hides reality. Plato described it in the famous allegory of the cave, prisoners, chained since birth, looking only at shadows on the wall, convinced that this was the only reality. Now, tell me, what if you are one of those prisoners? And even worse, who benefits from your imprisonment? The Matrix exists, but it's not made of wires, machines, or algorithms. It's made of ideas, of stories they told you, and that you accepted without question. Go to school, get good grades, find a job, pay your bills, retire, die. That's the script. And if you dare step out of it, you'll be called crazy, irresponsible, a dreamer. And while you follow this programming, someone is benefiting from it. The system needs you to stay alienated. It wants you distracted, exhausted, endlessly consuming, with no time to think. Social media floods you with useless information. The news fills you with fear. And you keep spinning on the rat wheel, believing that one day things will get better. But that day never comes. Now, pay attention. If this secret of the great sages has found you, it means you're ready to wake up. Because you feel that something is wrong. You've already noticed that there's an emptiness inside you. An emptiness that nothing seems to fill. You can try to escape, drown yourself in work, get lost in social media, numb yourself with momentary pleasures. But that emptiness is still there, because it's not a mistake. It's a calling. The ancients knew this. The Egyptians, the Greeks, the shamans, the wise men of the East. They all spoke about the illusion of the physical world and the need to awaken. But this wisdom was ripped away from our civilization, replaced with a materialistic model where anything that can't be measured or bought simply doesn't exist. The result? Millions of people living on autopilot, thinking that this meaningless hustle is normal. But this is not normal. And now that you've seen the truth, you can't ignore it anymore.
Yeah, so that's just a long-winded way of saying you gotta know yourself.
I was around Ashton Kutcher and Diddy before, and they were speaking about Brittany Murphy. And I don't think I ever told this story, and I'm about to tell this story here. While he was married to Demi Moore, he was still sneaking around seeing Brittany Murphy. You understand? We were going to Nets game, so we picked him up, and he was explaining to Diddy that every time he goes to Brittany's house, paparazzi always catches him or almost catch him coming out her apartment or coming out the building. Diddy was telling him that's either the doorman or your security, you know what I'm saying? And he was still married to Demi Moore at the time. So you could have something, you could be right. Cause it's crazy how they said her and Kim and some other individual with them or around them all died of pneumonia and they were in perfect health.
That just gave me the shivers, that, because how can these two people be around the same people but die of the same death? Is it a case of the stories that are going to expose them off, they become a threat?
So now you're telling me that the Galactic Federation egg with the hieroglyphs, as well as the representative who was in a hibernated state in his chamber beside the egg, even after AI debunking technology has confirmed that the videos and the photos are in fact not retouched and are real, some people still choose to not believe something outside of their comfort zone. Okay. Well, as the saying goes, denial ain't just a river in Egypt. That is called desensitizing at its finest. But you know what? Once again, this is for entertainment, education, learning, and conversation purposes only. So take what you will, leave what you won't. I'm not here to make you decide either way. But yeah, it has been confirmed that this egg and this person, the videos are real. Our representative is now with the United Nations coming up with a course of action to usher in peace into New Earth, as well as our representative. Earth is District 1, and we have a representative called Alien Gaia. She's also here to help, as well as the Council of 26, the Light and the Dark Council, as well as the 5 elders, who are also going to make themselves known here on Earth to help us with what we need help on. Now, the 3 phases of letting us all know that they are here to help have been completed with him being with the United Nations now. Phase 1 was the orbs that could manifest into angelic looking like beings to help some of you who don't believe find peace. As well as phase 2 was the motherships that are now photographed and videoed all over the entire world. They've been seen everywhere. That was phase 2. And phase 3 is our representatives are now with the United Nations coming up with a course of action. So once again, take what you will, leave what you won't. I'm not here to lead you one way or the other. I find this super fantastic and awesome because it's resonated here for a very long time. So tell me what you think. Do you believe this? Do you not believe this? Drop it in the comments. Let's have a fun conversation today.
Crazy thing about it is this. Let's say we all decide we're going to believe it. Let's just say that, right? But the rent still due. The mortgages still due. Life still must go on. What is it going to do for me? That's what we all want to know. So even if it is real, then what? Let me know what you think about that.
Quantum jumping does not mean jumping out of your body and randomly waking up in another world on another planet. You are staying right where you are, in your body, on this planet. It is the world around you that changes with you. Look at it like this. The wealthy and the poor are living in the same society on the same planet, and still, they are experiencing 2 completely different worlds at the same time. These different worlds are one, existing at the same time. There are multiple realities available to you at all times. Everything is energy. Everything vibrates. You are not able to see those frequencies, but your mind has the ability to pick up on those frequencies. That is why you can think of your desired reality. It is already existing in another dimension. These dimensions are coexisting at the same time.
In 1996, Dr. Henry Kessler built the first quantum computer. Its core technology, nuclear magnetic resonance, allowed it to manipulate atoms and compute faster than anyone thought possible. At first, the results were strange. A sequence appeared, 42, 42, 42. It repeated endlessly, as if echoing from somewhere else. They ignored it and moved on. Months later, the sightings began. Glowing plasma orbs appeared over highways in New Jersey. Perfectly round, perfectly silent. Witnesses said they moved like they were searching. News outlets called them UFOs. Scientists dismissed them. But those who listened closely heard something. A faint hum, 42, 42, 42. Over the next 28 years, quantum computing exploded. Google's Sycamore, Intel's Horse Ridge, NVIDIA's Ether Core, each chip faster, each machine smarter. Too perfect, too fast. Almost like someone or something was helping us. In 2002, Dr. Kessler disappeared. His lab was empty. But in the wreckage of his notes, one line stood out. The machine isn't solving problems, it's following instructions. Instructions for what? No one knew. But Kessler's final warning spoke of a tear, a singularity where our universe collides with another. Then last month, Google's newest chip shattered every record. Hours later, the orbs returned. Brighter, faster, organized. They hovered over entire cities watching. The hum was back. Louder now. Clearer, 42, 42, 42. Kessler believed every calculation thinned the barrier between worlds. And now, the barrier is breaking. The orbs were never here to observe. They were here to guide us, to prepare us for what's coming through. 1996 was the signal. 2024 is the response. The question isn't who sent the signal. It's what happens when they come through. Are we ready?
Yeah, see, I might be able to get behind this a bit more than them telling us those are drones hovering over New Jersey. But let me know what you think, though. Well, you guys, hey, that's another one in the books. I appreciate each and every one of you for stopping by yet again and watching another one with iTrack. If you haven't already, smash that like button for me. Smash that subscribe button and join the iTrack fan, man. Keep up to date with the latest and greatest, most viral, creepy, and interesting videos on the internet. I will definitely catch you on the next one.